Oh.
I'm talking about my life. I can't seem to get that through to you.
Blah, 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 blah.
I'm not just talking about one person. I'm talking about everybody.
You know you're dying. We're all dying. I'm tired of a lot of baloney.
I'm talking about form. I'm talking about content. I'm talking about interrelationships. I'm talking about God, the devil, hell, heaven. Do you understand? Finally!
Hi, Guardiane here to do another rant. I actually just did a whole rant for like an hour, sadly, and I deleted the whole thing because I just realized I'll probably offend every single person on the planet. Because that's what happens sometimes when I get into a rant. I stop thinking of what might be offensive. I'm like, okay. So I deleted the whole thing because, again, I'll probably lose any fewer viewers I have left because I realized that the world is very sensitive these days. Very sensitive over just about everything. And it's really sad and annoying. So when I was a kid, you could pretty much say or do almost anything. You know, I don't want to say anything because racism. I don't like that. I'm not into that. So you can't say or do anything. But you could usually say and do a lot of things, and people wouldn't get too offended by it. They just take it, you know, unless you were saying something meant to offend someone, like you were saying something to somebody in the context that you're offending them, then they would get offended. But now it's like you got to be careful what you say because someone could be listening and they'll like turn it against you, and you know, especially from the workplace. So to me, that's not fair. If I'm talking to someone else and you overhear a conversation, if it's nothing to do with you, like mind your own business. It's not fair. You should be able to use that against me and try to get me fired. And what I mean is like selective words, like if you say the word retarded or gay, but in the context that you're just saying like, well, that's gay, like, and that's stupid, or that's retarded, you know, like that's dumb. You can't really do that. You can't do that anymore. It's super offensive. Because if you were to say like, well, that's gay, someone would be like, well, my sister's gay. Okay, I wasn't talking about your sister or homosexuals. Thanks for not minding your own business and turning this conversation into something it's not. Need attention, I guess? So go talk to someone who cares. Like, people do that all the time. It happened to me once, actually. I used to work gay. It's just force of habit. I was a teenager. I used to say, oh, that's gay. You know, like, I don't know. It wasn't sensitive back then. People didn't care back then. Suddenly, over the years, it's like, oh, you said gay. Well, gay actually doesn't mean happy. Not anymore. Now it means homosexual. So, I wasn't meaning to offend homosexuals. I have a friend that's homosexual, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, whatever. But to me, it's sad that you can't use certain words anymore because someone might jump off the rail and find a reason to be upset so they get attention. It's just really goddamn irritating. But it wasn't my rant for today. My rant for today actually was going to be, what was it going to be now? See? I forgot. Okay. It's actually going to be about too many things to choose from. Okay? Too many things to choose from. What do I mean by that? Like, say you, like for example, I have to stain my deck or paint it or whatever. I don't know. So I go to like Home Depot and I'm looking at to get some sort of stain or something for my deck because it's never been stained or painted or anything. It's just wood. Pressure treated wood, that's it. So I go on there and I'm like 15 versions of stains and paint, and I'm like, you don't know which one to get. Like, why is there so many fucking versions of the same thing? And you look, okay, so they give you huge booklets and charts to look at to see what the differences are. I'm like, oh my god, this is complicated and stressful. Like, I just want something to protect the wood and to give it a nice color. That's all. But there's like 80 versions of the same thing. Like, each brand has its own select style. Like, there's just staining, or the staining and water sealant. There's water sealant and not rust proofing for what, but you know, like this. I'm like, why would I want just one thing? I want all these features. I mean, why wouldn't you want everything? I mean, why would you want just staining over waterproofing? I mean, shouldn't you want both? So you're thinking, okay, well, you can just buy the whole thing. It's $1 billion. I'm like, well, I can't afford the whole thing. So what do I need? And I get stressed out. I don't bother doing it. I haven't bothered staining my deck because I'm too stressed out trying to find out which one to get. If if you talk to one of the people there, they know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, oh yeah, you just get this. Why? I mean, how do I know what I need for my deck? Like, I don't want to go stain it and find out the stain's going to wear off because I didn't waterproof it too, or something stupid. And it's like, oh, like, I remember back in the day when you had just like one type of something. So you couldn't go wrong. Oh, buy it, do it, and you're done. Some people do that even now. They just buy whatever and do it. But last time I bought whatever, like when it came to paint my walls, I bought just whatever paint. And ended up streaking and being too watery and sucked. I'm like, oh, I have to research. I can't just buy whatever. And it's stressful. It's like, oh, there's 80 versions of paint. And it depends on the room, and depends on the shade, and it depends on eggshell or glossy, or I'm like, oh, when do I want eggshell versus glossy? Like, oh, this is so stressful. You know, I don't know. I just want the fucking paint. I don't need 60 versions of paint. Fuck off. So I don't paint. I hate painting anyway. Painting pisses me off to no end because it's like, if you gotta tape everything a million times over, you know how long it takes to tape a damn room? Like this room here, if I were to show you the whole thing, it takes like an hour to tape it. And it's so tedious and boring. And like, okay, I tape it and I paint it. You have to take the tape off right away because if you let the paint settle, the tape peels off the paint. I'm like, how can I retape this room every goddamn time I want to put a coat on? You have to do at least 2 coats because half the paint suck unless you're willing to spend $1 billion fucking dollars on Martha Stewart paint or shit like that. I don't want to buy stupid Martha Stewart paint.
What the hell?
It pisses me off because it's like I don't want to retape and spend another hour taping again, and you have to buy a billion gazillion tapes rolls, and I'm like, oh, I hate painting. I hate it. I'd rather pay some guy $100 to paint my room than do it myself because I hate it so much. And if you make a mistake and touch the ceiling, oh, there you go. Now I gotta find white paint to fix the ceiling you messed up. It's so stressful. How do people paint for a living? How do they do it and not be stressed out all the time? Painting is the most stressful thing I've ever done. I hate painting. What was my point? Let me trail off. Oh yeah, too many choices. I'm trying to think of something else that has too many choices, actually. I guess you could say computer parts. So many goddamn video cards, or different types of RAM, or motherboards. Like, oh my god, why? But at least for that computer stuff, in my case only, not my own case only, but I like browsing for computer stuff. I like shopping around and finding out what's really good. For the most part. I still think there's too many things to choose from. Like, honestly, go on Google or a store that sells motherboards and you see how many they have. Like Tiger Direct. Go there for as an example and just go to the motherboards category. See how many fucking motherboards there are. Like, why? I mean, I guess if you work for a company that designs motherboards, you gotta keep thinking of more stuff to make because otherwise you'll have no job. It's probably why there's so many things. People just, in order to keep their job, need to keep thinking of more excuses to produce more stuff. Like, even if you go to Steam for video games, there's too many. I know that's really bizarre for me to say. How can you say there's too many games to choose from? When I was a kid, I used to complain there wasn't enough. Because when I was a kid, I had an SNES, and that was it. And there's only so many games they could make for it at a time, right? So I used to complain there wasn't enough games. But no, there's too many. Like, I can safely say there's way too many games to choose from that I get stressed out trying to find a game to play or buy. I really do. I'm like, forget it. I'm not going to risk buying this game to find out it sucks. I guess you could get a demo and try it instead, but there's just too many, like, which one do I get? There's so many to choose from. So I don't bother getting a game anymore unless I know I'm going to like it, or if I watch a friend play it and I know it looks good, or they tell me it's good and I'm going to like it. Otherwise, I won't bother on my own to research it. Or if you're like my friend Steve, who gifts me every single game on the planet, and therefore I don't have to worry about buying anything because they're given to me. But then again, out of all the games my friend Steve has given me, thank you again, Steve, if you're watching. You probably stopped listening a million years ago, because any normal person would. Sorry if it's offended. Oh, I just offended all my fans. You said you weren't normal. I'm not normal either, so there you go.
What the hell?
I forget what game this is. It's an SNES game we used to rent all the time. Poor quality speed run of it. But anyway, but yeah, thanks Steve for buying all these games. Even though I have all these games, I still don't know which one to play. have too many. I'm like, which one do I install and play? I don't know. Too stressed out. But still, thank you. I appreciate it, Steve. I'm eventually going to pick one of these games to review soon. I don't know which one. Every time I seem to pick a random one, either I can't record it, or it doesn't suck that bad and not worth reviewing. But anyway, I don't know. So that's pretty much sums it up. There's too many things to choose from out there these days. I think it's annoying. Like sometimes for some things, I wish they just have one option so you can't go wrong. Not for everything. Like an example of having not enough to choose from is like my hydro company in my city. There's only one. I have no choice but to go with them, so they can screw you around and mess you up because you have no choice but to stay with them. Or I should say gas company, actually. Hydro's not too bad here. The gas company, there's like one to choose from. That's it. There's no selection. So they can screw you around. They can jerk you around and treat you like crap because like, oh, you can't leave. You have no gas set. That's when it's bad not to have enough choices. That's when it's bad. But when it comes to paint, if there's only one choice and it's good, I'm fine with that. I don't need 50 choices of paint. Just give me one universal paint that's good for everything. I mean, I don't mean in terms of color, I mean in terms of type. Then I'm fine with that. Okay? It makes it so much easier for me. I'm not worried about stressing out, which one do I need to get? Oh, there's like 80 versions. No, there's just one. Okay, done. And I'll do it right away. Anyway, one more example, I guess. Not a really good one. I go to this one website and reads like online comics. I don't know how I picked up on this. It's called bato.to, I think, bato.to. It's a bunch of anime, manga, free online comics. It's a pretty good site, but there's too many. I'm like, which one do I pick? You can narrow it down by a category, and I try to, but I'm like, I see the huge selection, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to bother finding which one to read. Whatever. A lot of people are probably watching this being like, you're crazy. I am. How can anyone be upset having too much to choose from? Especially if it's free. Because I don't have a lot of time. I don't have any time. If I was a kid, when I was a kid, I had nothing but time. So I loved having a vast selection of just being able to waste time and screw around and find out what's good. Because I had nothing else better to do. But now I don't have so much time. So I want to waste time playing or doing something that ends up sucking, because then I feel like I've wasted all that time and I only have so much of it. I want to make sure I get something I know I'm going to enjoy, or read something I know I'm going to enjoy. I want to take the chance of it sucking and not being any good, and then I've wasted all that time and I have to wait for the time to come back again. To what? Risk wasting it again?
The hell?
So now what I do nowadays, sadly, like my old Nintendo DS here, I've been playing Final Fantasy IV on it. I have a gazillion games on my computer that are probably much more worthwhile to play, but I'm too afraid they're going to suck, and I'm going to waste my time playing it. So I go back and play something I know I'm going to enjoy. The reason I'm playing it on here is because I have the remake. The remake's actually available for PC now, Final Fantasy IV remake. But it's like $15. I'm like, this game's archaic. It should be $15. It's a ripoff. Since I already had it for this, I'm just playing it on here because I know I like it. I know I'm going to have fun playing it again. And I'm not going to go wrong. But then you're thinking, well, you're wasting your time because you've already played it a billion times over. You know what to expect. What's the point? I don't know. I'm weird. I enjoy playing games I've played over and over again. Most of them that I know are fun and worthwhile. I'm not making any sense. But yeah, I guess I'm just too old. When you get old, for the most part, you'll lose a lot of free time. And if you don't, then I don't know. I like to say you're doing something wrong, or maybe you're doing something right. Because between my work, making stupid, insane videos, friends, family, I get this much time usually, free time to do anything. And it's not bad, really. I mean, sure, I like to have more free time like I do right now, because my wife and daughter are in India, so I have nothing but free time right now. But I feel bad. Like, I'm wasting time I need to do something else. I need to do something to feel constructive. Whereas a kid, I could care less about wasting time. I just love wasting time. I hated doing something constructive. Now I feel bad for wasting time. Which is all I'm doing right now. Completely off topic now. And who knows who's even listening anymore. But this is why it's called a rant. This is what I do. Especially when I get off on a tangent. I just friggin' rant in every direction. And stop making any sense. Wait, this is King of Dragons. That's what this game is. Capcom game for the SNES. Arcade style. Beat 'em up. Good stuff. Okay, I'm done now. I really could keep going. I've brain's just overflowing with hatred. But I really need to stop. I don't even know what to call this one. Well, if you did stick all the way through this, good for you. If not, I don't blame you.